Well, hello, everyone. Though my heart remains, as it always shall, at my home on the Mississippi Gulf Coast, my body remains in exile here in my adopted home of Arkansas, a state that has graciously and which I have most undeservedly been adopted by, a state that is as beautiful uh, as it is humorous. And I had an opportunity, as I so often do, to drive around the state, and I came to the city of New Not Joseph, Arkansas, which, if you're trying to find that on the map, it is, I'm told, just on the other side of, I believe it's evil Bronze Age Pharaoh, Tennessee. So you can kind of look that up if you want to see what I'm talking about. But I'm driving down this road, country road, kind of dirty, rural, you might say. Anyway, going down the road, there is this clearing, and this absolutely beautiful garden opens up. Flowers of every color, huge trees that go all the way to the woods, just absolutely beautiful, manicured. I stopped right across the street at one of those little stores that we so ironically call convenience stores, and I go in to buy sweet tea. Now, I want to take just an aside here and say I don't know why we still have to use the modifier sweet. If it's not sweet tea, I don't know what it is. I don't know why people drink it. I don't know if they just have a little bit of a fetish for dark colored water, but it's not really sweet tea. I've asked people, but they can't really give you a good answer. Some people, I'm told, have this thing they're concerned about called, what is it called? Diabetes. I'm not exactly sure what diabetes is. I believe it's a medical condition. I don't know. I've heard about it all of my life, but I never asked a lot of questions because I always thought it was one of those weird denominations, like the Seventh-day Adventist. I mean, denominations that we love, that we support, completely get behind, but we don't know a lot about, and we don't ask a lot of questions about because you know why. But anyway, I was in there getting my sweet tea, standing in line to pay for it, and the woman who worked behind the counter suggests I buy a lottery ticket. Well, as if I would buy a lottery ticket. Y'all know me. You know I have no interest in wealth. I certainly have no ability to hang on to it. Have demonstrated a rather extraordinary ability to blow through wealth more than anybody I've ever met that didn't have a cocaine habit. But that's neither here nor there. I certainly do not support greed or anything of that nature whatsoever. And so I was about to tell the lady how much I did not support lotteries and how of the devil I thought they were. And just then, just as I was about to speak out, just as I was about to set her straight, in my ear, I heard, well, I can't say it was Jesus. I'm not going to say it's Jesus because I don't know if that's right. But we'll say it inspiration. I was inspired. All of a sudden, I thought, the lottery goes to support the schools. I'm not buying a ticket because I'm greedy. I'm not buying a ticket because I desire wealth or whatever, go back to spending money on expensive clothes or anything of that nature. That would be absurd. I said, but I would do it for the kids because I can tell you, having grown up in Mississippi and now living in Arkansas, if there's one thing that I know our schools need, it's a little more money because after all, just a few more dollars, and I am certain we'd be teaching these kids astrophysics and the Oresteia. But be that as it may, for the kids, I definitely want to do that so that they could, compete, compete with the New England schools. But anyway, so I get a ticket for several tickets. Not that I expected to win. I never win those damn things. But anyway, if I did win, I knew I would give it to a good cause, and I thought my money was going to a good cause, and that pleased me very much. So I walk outside, I have my sweet tea, I have my little lottery tickets, and I'm looking across at that garden, and I notice in the middle of that beautiful garden is a man, and he is in this white robe, and it's one of those robes that those kind of strange some of those strange religions, some of those denominations who like to baptize you at the river wear, this was his day to accept Christ. But, which, by the way, if you ever get a chance to go, I love those churches. If you ever get a chance to go to those river baptizing churches, go to them in the springtime. It's beautiful, and you'll love the music. Don't try to sing. Don't going to sing any song you know the words to. Just just listen. Don't try to keep up. Just clap. If you can get the rhythm, clap a little bit, but don't sing. They don't really like that. But anyway, just go to them. Just be careful, because if you go to a river in the springtime in the South, there's going to be snakes. And as a matter of fact, as I'm saying that, be careful going into those churches, because some of those river baptizing churches bring snakes into the church, which brings me to another point. If you ever hear a story about me, no, it's not true. I did not know there were snakes in that church, and I most certainly did not know that I had run over 6 kids to get out the door when I saw those snakes. If I had known I had run children over, of course I would have I would have called the police and let them know there were kids in a snake-filled church. But that's neither here nor there. I'm getting off my point. For what I'm trying to tell you is I'm looking across in this beautiful garden at this man. I'm looking at his face. And instead of being the face of someone who was about to wash away the sins of the earth, he looked like someone who was wearing the weight of the earth on his shoulders. His face was intense, and he was on his knees and I suppose praying. I had gone on my knees before, just before I had stone surgery, but he may have been praying. Anyway, he had this horrible look of pathos on his face, and I was just looking at it, and from behind me, another man walked out of the store. I had not seen him before, and I noticed he was wearing a similar robe, only it had a lot of color to it. Looked like a much more expensive robe, and I look at him and I say, hey, look at the guy over there in the garden. What do you think's wrong with him? The man looks up, had not noticed he was over there, sees the man in the garden, his eyes turn aflame, and he yells as loud as he can, Jesus! I'm like, hey, what? Jesus? Dr. Seuss? What are you talking about? By the way, it turns out in some languages, what we see spelled Jesus, they actually pronounce Jesus. Who knew? I don't know. My English is so poor. For all I know, that's what we are supposed to say. I don't know who the hell I've been worshiping in church all these years. But that's neither here nor there. Point is, this man yells out, Jesus. About 30 other robed people who are apparently in what I now suppose is a cult come running from around the corner. They see it. They start yelling, Jesus, and they are mad as hell, and they're running after him. Well, Jesus sees this. He gets up. It's not a very big garden. He runs. Now, at first I was just going to walk away. Y'all know me. You know I have absolutely no interest in things that don't concern me. I am not nosy, and just was going to walk completely away from this whole situation. But then it occurred to me, here's this young man, though maybe a little young, a little older than I would have thought to be coming to Jesus, but that's okay. You know, the Lord works on his own time. Of course, the devil does too. But anyway, I said, what if this guy in this moment in which he's about to take on this new aspect of life, he's about to come into his calling, if you will, and he's about to be attacked, and the only thing that can stand between he and this angry mob is me. So maybe I should go over there and just be, well, obviously I wasn't going to do that. Not because I'm a coward, because I don't believe in violence. I don't believe in any kind of violence. So I'm just going to leave it alone and let cult people handle cult people business. But then I said, no, let me go over there and look, because even if I can't get involved, at least I can be a witness. And hey, being a police witness is important, and they pay you for that. And then if they pay you for that, you can, give that money to the kids at the school. So anyway, I go over there, and I don't know exactly what happened. Long story short, 5 minutes later, me, Jesus, and this other strange guy are 10 feet up a tree with a mob of 30 people chanting for his death. They want to, I don't know what Jesus did to them, but they're mad at him. Now they're mad at me because I'm up in a tree with him like an idiot, and this other guy's next to both of us, not helping the situation at all. Now, from what I can tell, Jesus used to be a leader of these people. Now, I don't know what he did to make them mad, but they were mad, and they were upset with him, and I'm trying to talk to him. I'm like, look, Jesus, if you know these people, talk to them. Get us down. Get yourself down. Get me down out of this tree, Jesus. I know they're mad at you now, but they'll come back around. You led them once, you'll lead them again. And just as I'm talking to him, just as I'm letting him know that they'll love him again, this numbnut on the other side of him starts talking to him and says, as much as I can understand, he seems to be saying, Jesus, I believe in you. I believe in you. I'm like, buddy, I believe in you too. But if you can work a miracle, now's the time. If you can take lemons and make lemonade, please do it. Now's the time. Well, I don't know where his head is. He's not even looking at the crowd. I'm terrified at 30 people trying to kill me, and he's looking up. I guess maybe he was just scared in another place. I think he was estranged from his dad, because he kept saying, Father, Father. I didn't quite understand what he was saying. I don't think he exactly spoke English, at least not totally. I didn't get the whole situation. But anyway, I'm trying to talk to him, and it's clear Jesus isn't going to do anything. He's not going to do what he needs to do. So I'm sitting here thinking, what can I do? How can I show wisdom? I said, well, maybe I could just stay up here and survive this crowd, outlast this mob. And then I realized I have a date tonight, and with a really pretty girl that I've been trying to go out with for 4 months. So rather than wasting a lot of time, I reach over and I break off a really big stick and I shove it right between Jesus's fourth and fifth rib. Not enough to hurt him, of course. At least I hadn't intended to, but it's kind of hard to judge. A lot of going on, and sometimes it's just God's will. I don't know what else to tell you. And Jesus falls out of the tree into the mob. The mob goes insane. They're focused on him. I jump off the other side of the tree. I run back to my car, get in it, and I take off and get back to Argenta where it's safe. About 2 days later, of course, I'd forgotten about the whole thing. I was distracted with my date and whatnot. A very pleasant affair. She had a good sense of humor, actually. Good conversationalist. Listened well. One appreciates a listener. Anyway, a couple of days later, I remembered this situation with Jesus, and I think, my gosh, what happened? So I went there, I guess it was 3 days later, to see if he was okay. I kind of thought they'd killed him. But as it turns out, just that day, people had started seeing him again. So I guess he's okay. So I don't know what happened. But if you hear a story about me being involved in some mob violence up around the Arkansas-Tennessee line, it's not true. And I am still absolutely welcome in New Not Joseph, Arkansas. But I'm going to be a little bit more particular about where I go and buy my tea and whose church business I get into. But otherwise, I'm loving everybody down there on the Gulf Coast. I miss you. If you get a chance, come see me. And if not, I'll be down there soon. Come see me then. Take care. Bye-bye.